I'm a disability advocate for one. I'm a content creator and I'm also a blind footballer as well. They're the three big ones. From when I was born, I was always visually impaired. I went from being able to read and recognise faces to having no usable vision. The threshold was probably passed at about 16. Yeah, I've had multiple times where I've been groped or people have come and rubbed up on you. I've had a really bad one at a train station. Really quite concerning for not just me, but the whole blind community. My perfect date. Shall I tell you my worst date first?
100%.
I thought you'd like that. Okay. I've gone smashing into a table and just sent drinks flying.
Oh no.
That's step one.
Yeah.
That's not even the worst thing that's happened.
Welcome to Under the Sheets with me, Tatiana Ashbourne, and all my friends. Laugh about it. Learn about it. Love it or hate it. Let's do it. Under the Sheets with Tatiana Ashbourne and friends. Welcome to Under the Sheets with Tatiana Ashbourne and friends, brought to you by Dirty Talk. I'm Tatiana Ashbourne, and this is my friend. This is Toby, everybody. How do you feel?
A lot more nervous now I'm actually here. I was cool as anything, and now I've sat in a bed with a random woman.
Yeah.
God knows what we're going to be talking about.
Well, thank you so much for wanting to come on this podcast. I really appreciate it. Why did you want to come on?
Well, we obviously met. We were at an awards ceremony, weren't we? Which actually neither of us won our category.
Yeah,
unfortunately. No, it's shocking. But I thought that it was a good opportunity when I heard about what your podcast was about to educate some people potentially about blindness and relationships and just disability in general, but also share some of my own experience because there are some horrendous ones.
Wow.
About growing up with a disability and trying to find your way in sex and relationships.
Wow, that's amazing. I can't wait to get into it. So you bought an item from your bedroom that makes your bedroom, and it is
Michael the Cane. I didn't know if this was a cop-out at all, but I said to you off camera, Michael Caine's been with me everywhere. He's seen a lot of things, and I wouldn't be me without him, but also, weirdly, I have woken up after nights out with him in my bed. So literally slept with Michael Caine a few times.
And how does that happen? Is it a drunken night out?
Yeah, I can't remember really. I just wake up and he's unfolded as well, full out, 6 foot of him. I just wake up next to him like, what the fuck's this? It's just my cane. At least I've still got it. It's better than losing it.
Yeah. Oh, 100%, definitely. So can you talk to me, give us a bit about yourself. Tell me about yourself. That makes better sense.
Yeah, tell me about yourself. Like a Tinder bio.
Yeah, what would be on your Tinder bio?
Oh, obviously my height.
Yes, yeah. How tall are you?
I'm 6 foot dead. So
wow.
And I'm not one of them people that's like, I'm actually 5'9". Yeah.
You actually are 6 foot.
With the hair.
Okay.
No. No, I think the best way to say who I am is I'm a disability advocate for one. Care a lot about the disabled community and informing people about it. I'm a content creator, so mainly on short form platforms like Instagram and TikTok. And I'm also a blind footballer as well. They're the three big ones.
That's amazing. Incredible stuff. And so how old were you when you went completely blind?
About 16, 17. So the transition took a long time.
Yeah.
From when I was born, I was always visually impaired. But I went from being able to read and recognise faces to having no usable vision. So I can still tell when it's daytime and nighttime and things like that. But yeah, the threshold was probably passed at about 16.
Yeah. And what is the most romantic thing that you would say you've done to build your room up to be romantic towards someone?
See, I'm not bed of rose petals or anything like that.
Okay.
I'm quite low key when it comes to things, but what I would say, the thing that I've enjoyed the most in terms of being romantic is on an anniversary, for example, where you spend the day together, you've planned your whole day out from breakfast to dinner. And you've just, we don't do that enough, I don't think, actually taking time out to spend a dedicated bit of time together.
Yeah, definitely.
So, me and my partner, we've had 5 anniversaries now, which is crazy.
Wow. What would you say is your biggest insecurity?
I'm quite a confident person now. I was really insecure growing up, but thankfully I've become a lot more confident. My biggest insecurity, I I couldn't tell. I'm really not an insecure person at all.
That's amazing.
I'm happy to have conversations about myself, and I know my flaws, but I'm
Yeah.
not insecure about them.
And so before you got into your 5-year relationship now, would you say your biggest insecurity was being able to find a relationship when you were blind?
100%. It's the aura that comes around you when you have a disability. You're seen as incapable, less attractive, anything like that. And I try and preach all the time, I'm the most average lad you're ever going to meet. You know, I'm not. There's also a narrative that can be had, but we're like superheroes.
Yeah.
You know, it's two ends of a spectrum. I fall right in the middle. And that's really important to me. But I did feel useless growing up, and I was told I was useless and felt really insecure about all of that stuff. So yeah, it definitely would have been my sight loss.
Wow. And tell me about how was it when you had that communication with your partner? Because you met at university, am I right?
That's right, yeah. First week.
Wow. Wow, that's amazing. And was it an easy transition into a relationship? Or did it take a time to build a friendship and then it was, this is more romantic?
I think I knew straight away with Natalie. So we started talking before uni like you do on people on your course. She was on my course and we were just like, oh, how's uni? Not how are you feeling about uni?
Yeah.
That kind of thing. And quite instantly, just over message and some voice notes, I could tell that we like clicked. And I think she did as well. There was a bit of an age gap with us at the time. I was 18 and she was 22.
Right, okay.
So I think she had a lot of reservations about that, and it took her a lot of time to get used to that. I mean, she'd just come out of like a year-long relationship a few weeks before, so she wasn't going into uni looking for anything.
Wow, yeah.
But we just kind of fell into the path of it, and we weren't looking for it. It just happened, and yeah. And like you were saying about what was it like to actually have that communication, it was incredible because I've never had such an open relationship with, not open in terms of like do what you want, in terms of open how we talk to each other and how we communicate. I trust fully that if there's something going wrong or going well, Natalie will tell me, and vice versa.
Yeah, that's amazing to have that. How have you found your sex education growing up and to what you learned getting into a relationship?
I don't really think I had any sex education.
Okay.
You had like the days in primary school where you'd watch like a weird video and maybe talk about how babies are made.
Yeah.
But you don't learn anything from that really. You just kind of, it's the process more than anything.
Definitely.
And then going into secondary school, I definitely missed a few days, like in PSHE, you know, where you do the weird, it's not weird, it's useful, but at the time it feels very weird.
Yeah.
I missed that.
And you've spoken about in some of your videos how blind people can be taken advantage of sexually in person. Can you explain that?
Yeah, I've had multiple times where, you know, I've been groped or people have come and like rubbed up on you. I've had a really bad one at a train station. And this is really quite concerning for not just like me, but the whole blind community. You know, I'm a bloke where the prevalence of it happening to a guy is a lot less than a girl.
Yeah.
But I was at a train station once and there was a platform change and everyone rushed off to go to this other platform and the train was coming in like a minute. So I was a bit, not panicky, but a bit like, got to get this train.
Yeah.
There was one person by the footbridge going up and I was like, oh, any chance you could help me like get to this platform? And they were like, yeah, that's fine. And they've gone to put my hand on like the handrail, I think, for the steps to go up.
Yeah.
And they've just put my hand on their knob.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm like, that's mental, but I've got to get this train. Like, nice one. And then I went to walk off and then he just grabbed my knob. And
sometimes do you get it that some people might say that you've accidentally been inappropriate because if you don't know where your hands are or you walk into someone or something like that, because it could probably happen vice versa where you don't mean to.
Oh, definitely. It's happened loads and loads of times. And if I felt like I've done something, immediately I'll make that person aware that, one, I can't see, and two, I definitely didn't have the attention of that and check that they're okay. Because obviously if you've got your back turned and you feel, that's horrible.
Yeah.
The other week it happened in Boots. I was being guided round by one of the staff members to, I was picking up something. And there was a woman bent over looking at someone on the bottom row and my hands just brushed past her bum.
Oh,
Do you know what I mean? I've just felt horrendous. She's turned around and like, rightly so, gone to confront me. Thankfully she was reasonable with like seeing my cane and stuff and realised. But, it's not a good situation on either side.
Yeah. And what do you think is the biggest misconception about blind people and the biggest challenge of being blind?
The biggest challenge of being blind is the fatigue for me.
Okay.
Like I can do pretty much everything that a sighted person can do, apart from like fly a plane or something.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, I can if you want. But it's more like you have to think about everything you're doing.
Yeah.
Everything is like a mind game. Everything's got step A, step B, step C.
Wow.
Nothing really feels like second nature. Whereas you could just pour a coffee and be like, yeah, done, cool, drink
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So yeah, the fatigue that comes with that is quite a lot.
Yeah, because you have to think probably double, triple what we have to think about. It's crazy. Yeah. Describe your perfect date.
My perfect date. Shall I tell you my worst date first?
100%.
I thought you'd like that. So I've gone out for dinner with a girl.
Okay.
It's big Frankie and Benny's.
Oh, love
Nothing
it.
screams I'm working class more than Frankie and Benny. Yeah, that she didn't really grab the concept that I couldn't see.
Okay.
I think she didn't understand how blind I actually was.
Yeah.
So she was really tentative about guiding me. She didn't want to do it. So I tried to use my cane for a restaurant.
Okay.
I've gone smashing into a table and just sent drinks flying.
Oh no.
That's step one.
Yeah.
That's not even the worst thing that's happened. We went bowling afterwards, and she just wouldn't I asked her where the lane was. She was like, "Oh, it's over there." I was like,
no.
"Shit!" Where's the lane? And I've heard something behind me, to my right. Sorry, and I'm like, oh, "Okay, the lane must be that way," because it sounded like pins. Turns out it wasn't pins. Fucking course it wasn't pins. I've thrown the ball and it's just been the complete wrong direction.
No.
It's just gone smashing into the benches. I'm there. I just had to leave. I was like, this ain't working. This is never going to work.
And so you just said, I'm really sorry, I'm going to have to go.
I left before staff could come. I was like, I'm out. She's caused this, right? Not me. It's her fault. So you confront the cost.
Oh my goodness.
I'm out of here.
Wow.
And honestly, that was...
How did you find this person?
Tinder, I think.
Okay. Yeah. And so go on, tell me the perfect date.
Sorry.
Or what's been your best date and what do you want to do?
The best dates are the ones where the other person's considered my needs.
Yeah.
So, typical thing is you might go out for dinner, you might go bowling, you might go watch... I don't know why watching a film's on the date list, by the way. What kind of date's that? That's horrendous. But, Natalie once took me to go gin tasting, and that's really sensory. And that's perfect for me.
That's good. That's a good date.
Just good dates, they don't even have to be magical or perfect. It's just the consideration that goes into them, and then the company that you're with. Mm-hmm. So I was talking about anniversaries, it's not really a date, it's an anniversary, but just that whole day where it's all about you as a couple, and you've planned it out together, and it's a collaborative effort. That for me is my best day, and I couldn't give you one example. It's more just an overarching thing, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also, how does attraction work for you?
Yeah, it's a weird one because it's been so long since I've actively tried to be attracted to someone.
Yeah.
Other than obviously my partner. So it's attraction is attraction. I think if you say you're attracted to someone solely on looks, you're wrong.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone can be. I think they do play a very big part in it. So for me now, it would be things like their personality is a really obvious answer to give, but how they interact with the world around them, what kind of aura do they give off, that kind of thing. I'm not a spiritual person, but people have energies about them.
Mm-hmm, what are the challenges of being blind in a relationship, and what are the positives?
The challenges are how involved your partner has to be. Natalie can get frustrated sometimes about always having to drive me around places, know, and always be the designated driver for things. And there's ways around that, like taxi. Do you know what I mean? I get the train absolutely everywhere. Yeah. But she still has to get me to the station and take time out of her day to do things like that. It can be quite draining as well when I'm always like, where's this? Where's that? Where are my keys? And they're right next to me. I'm just like, where you fucking put them? Do you know what I mean? I can imagine that gets frustrating sometimes for her, but she's never made me feel insecure about that at all. Sometimes she'll just give a sigh and be like, on the fucking table. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So the benefits, though, I think I'm a very emotionally aware person. Yeah. And I think that comes from losing my sight and experience every emotion under the sun. Mm-hmm. I'm very switched on to that, and it means that I've been able to be so open with Natalie about how I'm feeling, how she's feeling,
Yeah.
what's going well, what's not going well, what can we do to improve certain situations.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it's like just a strike of luck that, you know, we've got a house in our 20s, we've got a really good job together, which, you know, pays decent enough to sustain our life. And, you know, we've got freedom in that sense. I don't think that's luck.
Yeah.
You know, I think that that's just two people that completely understand each other, getting it right.
Yeah. No, oh, definitely. Was there ever a time where you thought that love just wasn't for you and that it wasn't going to happen?
It's a hard question, Matt, isn't it? I think because obviously I was a lot younger as well. Your outlook on what love and relationships is quite different. Yeah, I probably did think like, oh, is anyone ever gonna like be able to, you know, be with me as a person? Are they gonna be able to deal with the blindness? Are they gonna be understanding? You know, see the person behind the disability.
Yeah. And what's the secret to a good relationship of 5 years?
Communication.
Yeah.
Talking.
Definitely. Yeah.
Cliche answer, but the cliches are there for a reason. If you can say what you're thinking in a respectful way and also be open to receiving criticism or the honest truth from somebody and react to that in a good way, you'll be golden. Because if you can interact and respond to someone in a way that makes them feel good, but also like caters to your own needs as well, that's far more important than, oh, do they have big tits? Do you know what I mean?
Definitely. Hey, you sexy bunch. Thank you so much for your continued support on the Under the Sheets podcast. Did you know that only 10% of viewers actually subscribe to the show? It would be amazing if you could subscribe and do your thing, share it, to get the message out there and to educate more people. Thank you so much. Enjoy the show and keep talking dirty. Big love. I'm going to go to audience questions now.
Oh, no.
Yeah, this is when it gets scary.
Behave.
Right. Since you met your partner after you lost your sight, did she ever describe what she looks like?
Yes. Yeah. And actually, a lot of the times people love me to try and guess what they look like. And then they'll give me, you know, feedback based on that. Obviously, I've asked other people. I was dating Natalie before we became an actual couple. So asked friends and family, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, but we've never had like a sit down and she's like, described to me over a cup of coffee, like, so. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I know in words, in quite a lot of detail, what Nat looks like.
Yeah. What is it like aging yet not seeing the changes in your looks? Does it make you feel more confident?
This is really interesting, actually, because obviously the last time I really remember having a clear image of myself is when I was about 16, and I was going through like a roadman phase. And I was like in tracksuit and I had like a curly fringe, and you know, I've definitely changed a lot. So I don't know what I look like. Again, like Natalie, I just know through words. Do I feel confident? Yeah, I feel confident in my appearance, and you know, I try to dress nicely and keep myself well groomed and all of this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm always curious about what I look like. But I do get a lot. I think when you can't see, people are very inclined to tell you that either you're good looking, attractive, or, you know, point out nice things about you. So I do get a lot of compliments, probably because I can't see.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Well, you not
get,
just because I deserve the compliments.
But you definitely, because you are.
Get your way out of this.
No, definitely, because you are. There would be no reason why you couldn't get a compliment, because that you look great and you've got an amazing personality.
I appreciate that.
See, I got myself
you
right
got
out that hole.
Ladder right into that hole, didn't you?
If you were single again, how would you choose the perfect partner?
I don't believe in things like soulmates. I'm not about that, really. I think you either click with someone or you don't. So I think it would be kind of like, you know, just I think I'd have to get into the routine of dating again and actively looking, and there'll probably be a bit of trial and error in there.
Yeah.
But it's just about giving people chances and opportunities to adapt to my situation. I'm not ever going to expect someone to walk into my life and be perfect at, you know, being in my world, and vice versa. You know, it's not just a disability thing. That's just about getting to know people. So it's about giving chances, being receptive, and admitting as well if you're not a right fit. You know, I'd like to admit that early. I like to think that you can gauge that quite quickly. That's
a really good answer. What do you think that Natalie finds the most annoying or frustrating thing of having a blind partner?
Annoying's a strong word, and I think she probably does get annoyed sometimes because I'm a pain in the arse.
And that's not because you're blind, I'm guessing.
Stop it. Yeah, I think obviously we discussed earlier about like taking on responsibilities of things that I can't necessarily do.
Yeah.
We've got a little puppy at home who obviously needs walking, her shit needs picking up. You know, there's things like if there's a medical emergency, it's always going to be Nat driving her to this, you know, to the vets and whatnot. So probably taking on responsibilities of things that I can't do. But I like to try and, you know, compensate where possible and pick up things that I can do and make sure that I'm always doing them for her.
Yeah. But then generally, what do you think's the best? What do you think, without the blind into it, what's the best and worst thing about you in a relationship?
About me? She hates that I'm a big football fan because I'll always be screaming at the TV.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a knob when the football's on. The best thing about me would probably be, because I'm only 23, and I think people forget that sometimes, probably be my maturity in approaching situations and listening and making sure that, you know, because I think it's a big problem that younger people have is we don't listen. We assume things, we always want to give solutions and answers, and I'd like to make sure that people are listened to and heard before I give my input, if my input's even needed. Yeah. So yeah, probably my listening.
That's very good. Well done.
Thank you so much.
For listening to for listening to being your thing that you're good at.
Very well put.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been amazing to have you. So nice to get to know you as well. Where can people find your socials?
Mainly on TikTok and Instagram at Blind Tobes.
Awesome. Thank you so much. This is Toby, everybody. I do have a present for you as well.
Oh, really?
A Dirty Talk mug for you. So thank you very much. This is Toby, everybody.
Thank you so much. I just tried to look at a camera. I didn't know where they were.
There's one right in front. I'll give you a hug.
Oh.
If you want to be part of the show, whether it's on bed or as an audience member, please go to www.dirtytalkofficial.com and click Get Involved. Can't wait to see ya. Laugh about it. Give it to me, baby. Learn about it. Love it or hate it. Let's do it. Under the Sheets with Tatiana Ashbourne and friends.